Hi, I'm Olive. I was adopted by my foster parents when I was only 4, and ever since then, I lived with them in India. Before continuing the story, please like and subscribe. Both of them love me to bits. But just as I turned 5, my foster mom died of some illness, and 2 years later, Dad married another woman who also had a girl child named Ria. She was 2 years older than me, and I was excited about finally having an elder sis. But for some reason, we never got along, and even my stepmom totally hates me. On my 10th birthday, I woke up to find party preps going on in the house. I ran to my stepmom to find her busy putting makeup on Ria. OMG, Mom. I can't believe you're throwing a birthday party. Can you put some makeup on me too? I love you so much.
Throwing a party? I won't even throw garbage in your name. All this is for my own beautiful daughter.
Just then, Dad came in and hugged me.
Well, my beautiful daughter never needs makeup. She's an angel already. Happy birthday, dear.
He gifted me a beautiful necklace, and then we both baked my birthday cake together. Dad was literally the best. One day in the 7th grade, as Ria and I were walking to school, a boy jumped in front of us with a rose.
You're so beautiful, Olive.
Ria snatched the rose from his hand and crushed it under his feet. As soon as we reached home, Ria fed lies to her mom and she turned into an angry goddess.
So you're planning on spoiling my name, you ugly brat, talking and hanging out with boys. Do you think you're Miss World? You're not going to school anymore?
Mom, wait. Just listen. I didn't.
What? You mean Ria is lying?
My stepmom took my hand and tried to lock me in my room, but just then Dad came in and saved me.
That's enough. This is not how you treat my girl.
Dad took me away and told me something really shocking. He said he's tracked down my real mom and I could go see her. Dad, no, I love you. And no matter what, I'm not leaving you. A few weeks later, he went abroad for a business trip, and I was dreading being left alone with my stepmom and Ria. But the very next day, my stepmom woke me up with a coffee and a smile. Something was wrong. She even gave me Ria's makeup kit and asked me to put it on. But when I went downstairs, there was a big group of people in my house. She then whispered to me,
Listen, behave well. That's the groom's family, for God's sake. Make them like you. I just want to get rid of you as soon as possible.
What are you talking about, marriage? Mom, I'm not even 16 and I know this is illegal, so if you all don't want to end up in prison, please leave. After they left, my stepmom went crazy.
Have you lost your mind? How long do you want to stick with us? The foster care paid very little this time, and your dad is spending everything for you from his pocket. Gosh, you really suck.
She then blocked Google so I wouldn't email my dad, but I used FireGuard VPN and unblocked Google and Gmail. I decided I couldn't stay here anymore. I wrote an email to Dad telling him everything and left home that night with the address he gave me. And man, LA was like a whole other planet. Everything was so different, the people, their speech, food, everything. And my real mom was an actress, big shot celebrity. And I had no idea about that. When her guards introduced me with the adoption papers, she was shocked. But the next second, she hugged and kissed me like she loved me so freaking much.
Oh, Oliviana, my baby.
It's Olive, Mom. You would have known if you cared.
It's not Mom. Oliviana, call me Sandy, just like my fans do. And trust me, baby, I gave you up only for your good. But I'm sorry, okay?
I couldn't take it all in one go, but life there did seem nice. Mom gave me more than enough of everything. She appointed 3 maids personally for me, and my food came from different 5-star hotels every day. She also put me in the best school in LA, and I was getting a royal treatment there right from day one. All the kids were trying to be friends with me.
Hey Olive, I'm the cheerleading team captain. You can have the seat next to me.
Hi, can I show you from the school? I'm pretty much the popular guy here.
Well, I soon knew it wasn't for me but my Rolls Royce and my mom's money, but I loved it anyway. However, I found the school totally weird. All girls had boyfriends and nobody punished them for it. I even saw some girls and boys kissing in the hallway. It took me some time to adjust, but slowly I started to feel lonely inside. Mom was always busy with work, and she barely had time for me, so I decided to make it up with cooking. Yes, I started taking cooking lessons, and it was so much fun. Once I saw Mom saying in a TV interview that she loved shrimp salad, so I learned the recipe from YouTube and made it for her. I was so excited for her to taste it, but she acted so weird.
Darling, what's this? Is that thing moving? Gross.
But you said shrimps were your favorite in the interview last night?
I did. Oh, then it's a lie. Don't take my words seriously, sweetie.
She left without even touching the food that I cooked for her. I felt so bad. The next day at school, I was surrounded by so many boys wanting to take me out on a date. Gosh, I really wish I could disappear for some time. Just then, a boy named Elon came to me and said,
Hey, you're Olive, right? The principal is calling for you right now.
I went to the principal's office, but just as I was about to enter, Elon stopped me.
Well, she didn't call for you. I just saw your sullen face when those kids were pestering you. So I just lied to help you escape. Don't be mad, all right?
Oh my, why would I be mad? He was so charming and his dreamy eyes. I could feel butterflies in my stomach. Afterwards, we had lunch together, and he seemed so different from the others who were constantly trying to flirt with me. In no time, we became quite close, and he was literally the best person I have ever met. Then one day I took him home with me. But for the first time, Mom was at home and sitting in the drawing room. Sandy, what are you doing here?
What am I doing here? This is my home, sweetie.
OMG, that's your mom? I can't believe it. I'm a crazy fan of yours. Ma'am, can I have your autograph?
Oh, please call me Sandy.
What did he just say? He was a crazy fan. And why was Mom acting like that? Stardom sucks, but whatever. I left the two of them alone and went to grab something to eat, but when I returned, I saw Mom hugging him.
Oh dear, I wish I had a son like you.
What, wasn't I enough? She kept chatting and laughing with him for hours while I just fell asleep on the sofa. And when I woke up, the weirdest thing happened. The maid told me that both of them went out for dinner without me. What in the world was going on? The next day at school, I was looking for Elon when I heard some strange giggles and talks behind my back.
Oh, Olive, I can't believe your mom is dating Elon. Is he going to be your dad now?
Shut up, what's wrong with you? Elon's about to be my boyfriend, so stop spreading lies.
Seriously, you didn't see the newspaper today? Or Facebook or Instagram? Their lovey-dovey pics are viral everywhere.
What was happening? I immediately grabbed my phone and saw the breaking news on every social media page. Hot young actress dates a schoolboy. OMG. I nearly fainted. I thought Mom would be so upset, so I rushed home. But to my shock, she behaved like nothing had happened.
Oh, this is very normal for a famous celebrity like me, honey. And this kind of publicity is good for my career. But don't you worry. I heard the boy has no parents and is living in a shelter and I'm adopting him next week. Then you'll see how everything changes.
What? You're adopting Elon? You can't do that. I was just going to ask him on a date. And you want him to be my brother now? No way, Sandy. Mom just smiled and walked away. What on earth was she thinking? The next morning, she came to my room and talked as if nothing happened yesterday.
Oliviana, today is the last day of my shoot for this movie. I knew you wanted to see my world. Come on, honey.
She was absolutely really crazy. But I met so many stars whom I've only seen on TV, and it was just awesome. Then someone asked Mom if I was her daughter, and she said,
Daughter, are you freaking mad? Look at my body. So stunning. I would never spoil my youth and my career by having a child. She's just my maid's daughter, and since I have such a huge heart, I decided to adopt her.
Gosh, what kind of mom was she? I didn't talk to her all the way back home, but worse, she didn't even try to apologize to me and kept on giving excuses.
Darling, this is how my life is. I can't survive in this field for long if everyone knows I'm getting old and I have a child, so…
Enough, Sandy. God, how can you be so untrue every minute? You've never been genuine to me, and I completely hate this life in you. The next day, I went to school and asked Elon if he knew about the adoption thing, and to my worst nightmare, he just hugged me and said,
Hi sis, how are you doing?
What did you just call me, sis? Weren't we kind of together?
You're so funny, sis. I'm so glad I'll be having a famous mom and a wonderful sister like you.
He was such a jerk. I gave him a tight slap on the face and went back to my class. But even there, the kids gathered around me asking for Mom's latest movie premiere tickets. Gosh, everyone here was so freaking crazy. I couldn't handle it anymore and went straight home. I packed my bags, and as I was leaving the house, Mom called out to me.
Oh, honey, be back home by 7 o'clock. We'll be going to Elon's home today to sign the adoption papers. All the media will be there.
She was such a selfish person until the very end. Of course. It hurts so much to think that I've never had a true loving mom in spite of having two. Afterwards, I found myself a shelter home and emailed Dad telling him how much I missed him. Thankfully, he replied and said he was coming to see me soon. Meanwhile, I registered for MasterChef USA, and for the final round, I made the signature dish, the Beef Wellington by Chef Gordon Ramsay. And luckily, I won. Yes, with the grand title and the prize money. I opened my own restaurant in LA, and Dad was my first customer. Before ending the story, I want to remind you that walking alone at night is very dangerous. Your safety comes
I'm
first.
Soleil from Monterey Bay, and my life was a nightmare until I turned 15. Before I continue, please like and subscribe to Fareeb. I was born with a condition called macrodontia that meant my teeth were much larger than normal size. It wasn't a big deal, but people were giving me a hard time for it. Like one time in 4th grade, I was waiting in line for picture day when my teacher, Mrs. Smith, pulled me aside.
Sweetie, I need you to keep your mouth closed for the picture. No smiling, okay?
You don't want me showing my teeth, do you?
It's just that you're such a pretty girl, and your teeth just may be a bit distracting for the picture.
It's not my fault you think my teeth are distracting. I have a condition, you witch. maybe I shouldn't have called Mrs. Smith a witch. It landed me in double detention. But luckily, I told my parents everything that had happened, and they were furious. They got my teacher fired for discrimination against a kid, and I felt pretty pleased with myself. Though unfortunately, kids at school started making fun of my teeth after the picture day incident. I ignored them most of the time, but sometimes I just wanted to slap their dumb faces. The only thing that helped me through the day was singing after school in my room. It was my dream to become a singer, but I was way too shy to sing in public. Then one day, everything changed when a new girl came to our class. Her name was Lydia, and she was a famous child actress. I'd loved her movies ever since kindergarten. She was literally my idol. We were even paired as lab partners and instantly became friends. I told Lydia all about the bullying and my witch teacher, Mrs. Smith, and she was so sweet.
Those people are dumb. You're perfect just the way you are. Just stick by my side, and none of the bullies will ever bother you again.
Soon, I found out Lydia was right. Whenever I was with her, the kids left me alone. I was untouchable. By the time Lydia and I were in 8th grade, we'd become besties. But when we got to high school, things got a little crazy. On our first day, kids started staring and whispering at us in the hallway. Within seconds, everyone pushed past me so they could take selfies with Lydia and ask for her autograph. This went on all morning, and by lunchtime, I decided to study in the library for some peace and quiet. Then suddenly, as I was walking to a table, I tripped over someone's shoe from behind. We both fell forward, and I landed on top of some girl.
Get off me, you jerk!
Geez, I'm sorry, it was an accident.
Please! I know who you are. You're the new bodyguard of that teen actress Lydia. You think you're so important that you don't have to look where you're going.
First of all, I don't think that at all. And second, I'm not Lydia's bodyguard. I'm her best friend.
Haha! Well, she's telling everyone you're her new bodyguard. If I were you, I'd find out what that's about.
The girl got up and stormed off. What was she talking about? I found out later the girl's name was Kara, and everyone was super creeped out by her. Part of it was because she wore black lipstick and dyed her hair white. The other reason was because she just sat in the library all day and never talked to anyone. So I probably shouldn't take anything she said seriously, right? But her comment about me being Lydia's bodyguard was just so weird. So I decided to confront Lydia about it, and when I did, she got really quiet.
I have to tell you something. I have a stalker. He's some obsessed fan who's been sending me weird letters that he's gonna kidnap me and we're gonna get married. Ugh, I don't even want to talk about it. I just really need a bodyguard.
Whoa, I had no idea. But wouldn't it be better if you hired some big, tough adult? I mean, I can't fight a weirdo stalker.
Soleil, you're my best friend. You're the only person I trust. I don't want some stranger following me around 24/7. Please, I need you to do this for me.
Okay, don't worry. I want you to be safe. So I'll be your bodyguard. Lydia was really relieved, and I was glad I could protect her. But soon I discovered being her bodyguard was a living hell. Not only did I have to follow Lydia everywhere, I had to show away everyone who tried to talk to her. Lydia just didn't trust anyone, but her fans blamed me for it.
I just wanted to know where Lydia bought her bracelet. I'm not trying to hurt her, you jerk.
Then one day things got really out of hand. I was walking Lydia down the hall when this muscular jock tried to shove me.
Out of my way! Buck teeth! I want to talk to our local movie star, aka my future girlfriend.
Lydia just looked at her phone, and I knew that meant she wasn't interested and didn't want to deal with him. Sorry, dude, but Lydia doesn't want to talk to you. And as her bodyguard, I'll have to ask you to leave. At that second, the guy grabbed my shoulder and I had no idea what he was gonna do. I turned to Lydia for help, but I didn't see her anywhere. Instead, some girl pinned the guy's arms behind his back. It was Kara!
Leave her alone, psycho! My mom's a cop and can have you locked up so you never see the light of day again.
Kara let the guy go and he ran off. I was amazed that she, of all people, had defended me. Wow, Kara, I can't thank you enough for protecting me. I was so scared.
Don't get used to it. I just felt bad for you because you're the bodyguard of that stuck-up princess. Notice how she just walked off while you almost got beaten up?
Kara walked off, and I realized her words made sense, Lydia had abandoned me, and worse. When I kept calling and texting her, she didn't answer. The same day at school, I saw Kara walking into the auditorium, which was empty. This girl was so mysterious. I followed her inside, and seeing her, my jaw dropped. She was playing the piano, and she was incredible. Holy Croosh! You're a pianist? I didn't mean to sneak up on you. Please don't punch me. But you're really good, dude.
Oh, you again! Yeah, I play the piano, but I'm not that good. I mean, I kinda am, but I could never play in front of other people.
I totally get what you're saying. I've always wanted to be a singer, but I've never had the guts to sing in front of anyone.
So, why not sing something now? Come on! No one's here and you've heard me play piano. It's only fair.
I took a deep breath and started to sing something. And for the first time, I saw Kara smile.
You're not bad at all, Soleil. You should try out for the spring showcase. If you do, maybe I'll accompany you.
I felt my heart race. Was she serious? At that second, my phone rang and it was Lydia. Girl, where have you been? I've been calling you all day.
I am so sorry, but you have to come to the school parking lot. My stalker just showed up.
Oh no! I panicked and hung up the phone. Then I ran out of the auditorium, totally forgetting about Kara. When I got to the parking lot, I stopped short when I saw Lydia kissing some guy. Lydia, what's going on? Where's the stalker?
Oh, this is him. I decided in the end, I like him and he's cute.
What? Why would you like someone who stalked you and made you feel unsafe?
He didn't stalk me. He's just some guy who hit on me at the mall, and I wasn't interested, so I thought he might stalk me. But I took his number anyway, in case I wanted to give him a chance. And I did.
Are you kidding me? Do you know how exhausted I've been being your bodyguard? Some guy even grabbed me, and you left me to make out with some stranger.
Well, I thought if I told you the full truth, you wouldn't be my bodyguard. You have no idea what it's like to be me, having to talk to fans all the time, and being a celebrity. You've never even had a real friend before me. It's fine. It's just, you have no idea what I've gone through.
What the heck? I was too angry to even answer her, so I just stormed off. I couldn't believe Lydia. Maybe it was tough being a celebrity, but did she have any idea what I had gone through? Being bullied my whole life and never having friends. I decided then and there I was done living in Lydia's shadow. I was trying out with Kara for the Spring Showcase. It was my turn to shine. So the next day, I auditioned with Kara, and it went amazingly. The director was blown away by our talent, and I had no idea what I'd been so scared of. We were in. Craziest of all. All the other performers were chosen, and we got the last spot. But just as we were walking out of the auditorium, I saw Lydia sitting in the back row, and her face was white with rage.
How could you do that to me, Soleil? You knew I wanted to sing for the showcase. The directors aren't accepting any more performers now.
You never told me you were auditioning. You don't even sing.
Of course I sing. And no offense, but you're not meant to be a performer. You need a certain look, and you don't have it. I love you, but someone needs to break it to you.
I felt myself boil with rage. Who was she to say I couldn't be a performer because of my teeth? Then suddenly, Kara whipped out her phone and held it in front of Lydia's face. A video started playing of a girl screeching.
Remember at Grandpa's birthday party when we did karaoke and you sang like a dying cat? Well, I filmed the video, and if you try to get in our way of performing, I'll post it online.
You are so mean, Kara. And for your information, I sing way better now. And I'm not gonna let my bestie embarrass herself in front of everyone.
With that, Lydia stomped off, and I was so confused. How did she and Kara know each other? And why did Kara say Grandpa?
In case you're wondering, Lydia and I are cousins. You guys may be friends, but I'm the only one who knows she's a two-faced witch.
What? You guys are cousins? No, wait. Look, I know Lydia can be a little selfish, but she's not a bad person. She totally saved my life in middle school. All the kids were teasing me because of my teeth, and she protected me. Lydia's the only one who's seen me for who I am as a person and not what I look like.
Oh, babe, you are just too naive. Come with me, and I'll show you what kind of person Lydia really is.
Kara caught my full attention, and I followed her to Lydia's locker. I watched as Kara picked the lock and took out a worn-out journal.
This is Lydia's diary. I like reading it for my own personal entertainment. I swear, if people knew how evil she really is, she wouldn't be famous. Look at all this stuff she says about people.
I grabbed the diary from Kara, and to my horror, it was filled with nasty comments about every kid at school. And then I saw something that broke my heart. Lydia had cut out pictures of me and colored in my teeth with black marker on the page she'd written. I don't know how much longer I can pretend to be this freak's friend, but her loser status makes me feel so much better about myself. Before I could stop myself, I burst into tears. My whole friendship with Lydia had been a lie. Kara put her arm around me.
I know it sucks, but at least you know the kind of person she is now. I'll help you get revenge. We'll crush her at the showcase.
Thanks, Kara, but I think I just need to be alone right now. I went home and ditched the rest of my classes. I didn't come out of my bedroom for 2 days and refused to go to school. I was just so depressed and I felt like such an idiot. And then my mom came to my room with some news.
Soleil, I know you're suffering right now, but I wanted to tell you something that for sure will cheer you up.
What is it?
Your dad and I finally saved up the money to get braces. We can finally fix your teeth.
Why? Because I'm too ugly for you to look at?
Of course not, sweetie. This has nothing to do with looks. It's just better for your jaw. If we get this fixed, it'll be easier to brush your teeth and eat and take care of dental hygiene.
Mom made a pretty good point. So that week, I let her take me to the orthodontist and I got braces. They were super uncomfortable, but I felt better knowing I was finally going to take care of my teeth. Then finally, when I was back at school, I spotted Lydia. I hadn't seen her since I'd read her diary, and when she saw me with braces, she freaked.
OMG, are you crazy? I thought you were proud of how you looked. Yet you got braces, which means you obviously hate yourself.
No, I love myself. That's why I got braces for my health. Also, congratulations. You don't have to pretend to be my friend anymore. I made new friends. Way better friends. With that, I walked away before she could answer. Kara was waiting for me by my locker. I couldn't believe I'd misjudged her. Maybe she was a freak like me, but she was amazing. That evening, Kara and I had our show, and I was super nervous. We had to go back to school at 7 p.m. to get ready. When we got there, crowds of kids were already outside the building. That's when we saw a mob of kids in the courtyard gathered around Lydia, yelling at her. They were holding their phones in her face and saying things like two-faced and sicko. What was going on? That's when I saw Kara laughing in the corner.
I posted the pages of Lydia's diary all over Instagram. Now everyone knows all the awful things she wrote about them.
Whoa, Kara. I know she's a jerk, but isn't that kind of low?
Not as low as faking being your best friend for years, and everyone deserves to know the truth about her. Trust me, Soleil, I still felt a little weird about it.
But I knew deep down, Kara was right. As we walked on the stage later together, the audience cheered and whistled. Don't be afraid of the decisions you make, because life is all about making choices.
Hi everyone, my name is Paige, and I'm from Tennessee. Please like and subscribe. My mom was a former beauty queen, and I was born with the same gorgeous looks. Everyone thought I'd follow in her footsteps. I loved being admired and getting attention until I got interested in what my dad did. He was an important politician who worked very closely with the president, and growing up, I wanted to be more like him. But Mom was more keen on teaching me how to put on makeup and walk in heels. I was only 8 when she started taking me for modeling classes. The instructors tried teaching me how to catwalk and pose in front of the camera, but I would deliberately strike the dumbest poses, and they'd all give up.
Why do you do this every time, Paige?
Because I don't want to be a model, Mom. I'd always run away from her and go and seek comfort in Dad. He'd tell me some awesome stories about work, and I'd have the best time. But eventually, Dad started climbing up powerful positions in government and got really busy, and I'd hardly get to see him. One day in 5th grade, I was decorating my house for Easter, when suddenly, I saw that half of my decorations were gone. I looked around and spotted a boy my age running away with all my decorative eggs. Hey, stop right there! I jumped onto him and pinned him to the floor. Who are you and why are you stealing my stuff?
I wasn't stealing, I swear. I'm your neighbor and I was just trying to prank you.
So you're a liar and a thief! That house has been empty for ages.
Yeah, but we just moved in, Dumbo.
But I just pulled his hair harder when his parents came running and saved him. And it turns out they indeed had moved into the house next to mine. And that boy Carson was even gonna go to the same school as me. From the very first day, he was super popular because he was cute and all the girls were buzzing around him like he was some queen bee. But since I already knew him, I wanted him to be my friend first. If you want, I can save you from all the trouble of making new friends. You can just hang out with me.
And why would I want to do that?
I held him by the collar and pulled him with me. This is my secret hideout at school, and I'm sharing it with you. So now we're friends, and you're not letting any of those girls near you. Got it?
Gosh, you're really bossy. This place is cool, so sure, it's a deal.
After that, Carson and I started hanging out together, and we became really close, and Mom didn't like it. She said it wasn't girly to have a male friend. Whatever. I'd sneak out of the house and play football with Carson. And in no time, we became the bestest of friends. And slowly, I started to fall in love with him. And that bothered Mom continuously. One night, I planned to sneak into his room to play video games. But Mom caught me and started screaming at me non-stop.
Just let her be, honey. Let her do what she likes.
Oh, Dad, you're back. Dad was rarely home. But whenever he'd be back, he'd let me do what I wanted. And I thought he was the perfect parent, unlike Mom, who always tried to boss me around. Then a few days later, I was turning 16, and I decided to tell Carson how I felt about him. But when I reached school, I saw him talking to a new girl. After she walked away, Carson turned to me and gave me the shock of my life.
She's gonna be the mother of my future kids.
You're what?
You heard it, Paige, and you're my brother. You're gonna help me get her, right?
What are you, nuts? How can you even think that?
Ah, shoot. I'm so stupid. I completely forgot you're not that much into girly stuff yourself, so I don't think you'll be that much help to me. I'll just have to win her all on my own.
Saying that he just left me there and I felt crushed. I cried my heart out in our secret spot. But then suddenly I saw a girl passing from a distance and all the boys were going crazy over her. Her name was Lola and she was an ace student. 2 weeks after joining school, she even became the cheerleading captain. I felt jealous and planned to annoy her as much as possible. I kept trying to make her look bad in front of Carson and kept failing. Did you see her today? Who wears full purple to school? She looked like a plum.
I know, right? She looks so cute.
You know, she must change boyfriends every day, given she has so many boys after her. You're just gonna get your heart broken if you chase her.
Ah, come on. You know I'm the most handsome guy at school and she's the only one who'll look good next to me.
When this didn't work, I began pranking her in the classroom so she'd lose her temper, but instead, she behaved so nicely and let it all go in good humor. One time, as she was walking inside the school, I even made a small puppy pee on her Jimmy Choos, but she just picked it up and started playing with it. God, she was an angel. It was really hard to hate her, so I decided to try something else. Pretend to be her friend. Gosh, you're so pretty and nice. I wish I could.
Hey, I'm gonna stop you right there. I'm sorry, but I'm just not into girls. But I have a friend who lives in New York, and she would totally dig you.
What? No, I'm not into girls either. Why would you think that?
'Cause you keep following me around all the time. I don't want to be rude, especially since your mom is amazing.
What? How do you know her?
Well, everyone knows about her. She was a super famous model in her time, but she gave up her career for her family. She sounds like an amazing mom.
Well, I never thought of it that way. But as we continued talking, I realized Lola was a very nice person. We often hung out together, but instead of faking it, I started to become a real friend to her. And Carson thought I was doing it all for him.
You're amazing, Paige. I can't believe you arranged a date for us.
For the last time, I didn't invite you. It's supposed to be just me and Lola. Go away. Even though I'd have so much fun with Lola, I hated Carson trying to hit on her all the time. But he'd invite himself to all the places we'd go. Soon, it was Lola's birthday, and she'd invited both me and Carson to her place. But when I reached there, I was shocked to see my dad. Dad! What are you doing here?
Paige, what? What are you doing here?
Your dad. I didn't know he was your dad.
Turns out Dad and Lola's mom were high school BFFs. And later, Lola told me my dad and her mom hung out together often. And he even helped Lola with her projects and stuff. And that made me feel really weird, given I barely saw Dad at home these days. But Dad brushed off all my doubts on her way home when he told me he was inviting Lola and her mom for a picnic to introduce them to Mom. The next day, everyone joined us on the picnic, including Carson. But the entire time, I could see Mom getting a bit jealous. seeing Dad and Lola's mom talking and laughing at a distance, and so was I. But then suddenly, Mom lost consciousness and fell to the ground. Mom, are you okay? I was devastated as we rushed Mom to the hospital, and the worst thing happened when she woke up.
Who are you?
Mom, what are you saying? It's me. The doctor came in and told us that she had amnesia, and this just broke my heart. The entire way home, Mom looked at us like she was going back home with strangers. We showed her all the family albums, but nothing triggered her memory. Lola kept calling and texting me to ask about Mom while I took some days off from school, but I didn't reply. It annoyed me that Dad and her mom were suddenly best friends, and somehow I just wanted to avoid her. One day, while Mom sat in the garden alone, I went and joined her. Mom, how are you feeling now?
I'm feeling better, but I'm sorry, I still don't remember much.
You don't have to apologize about anything. And then she asked me tons of questions, and I was happy to relive all those memories with her.
So, do you have a boyfriend?
I kinda have someone I like, but he doesn't see me as girlfriend material.
What? What do you mean? You're my daughter, and there's no way you can go unnoticed by any guy.
She pulled me into her room and gave me a makeover, and this time, I didn't say anything, 'cause I wanted to spend all the time with her and let her love me the way she wanted. The next day, when I reached school, everyone's jaw dropped, and by lunchtime, my phone and locker were full of love messages.
Whoa, you look like a whole new person, Paige. I didn't know you were.
A girl.
No, that's not what I meant.
Cut it, Carson! I'm still the same person on the inside. You know, the one you don't like is anything more than a friend, and never will.
Paige, I like you the most. You've been my favorite person ever since childhood, and I was a fool to chase Lola. But then slowly I realized I was losing you, and I don't want that. I want to be with you.
You're just telling me this because I look pretty now.
No. Trust me, Paige. You're the one I love. Even when you're in shorts and sneakers playing football. I wanted to tell you my true feelings earlier, but you were so upset with everything going on with your mom.
Listening to those words, I felt good, but something in my heart felt uneasy. So I walked away. But Carson would stop at nothing to convince me of his feelings. He'd walk back home with me every day and spend time with me and Mom. And slowly, over a couple of months, Mom's memories started to get better. She could recognize both me and Dad, and I was really happy about it. But then one day, something bizarre happened. I got home and saw Mom was crying her eyes out, and Dad and Lola's mom were also there. Mom, what's wrong? And then she told me how she found Dad making out with Lola's mom on our couch. What? Dad?
Okay, yeah. And what's wrong with that? I don't think there's anything to cry about. I love Lily and she loves me. And with your mom being so sick and all, I can't handle the pressure of my work. And the elections are coming up. I want a partner who can support me.
I couldn't believe my ears. This wasn't the same person who I'd thought of as my idol all my life. You're the worst. All this time, when Mom needed you the most, you've been cheating on her. Probably even from before that. Both of you, please get out. The two of them left, and I hugged Mom tight. Later that night, Lola called me, but I didn't pick up. She approached me in school the next day, but I started walking in the other direction.
Wait, please, just a minute.
Can't you take a hint? Lola, I don't want to hear anything you have to say. Go home and enjoy time with my dad and be a perfect family. Just stay away from me. I'd spent most of my time with Mom to comfort her, and we grew closer than ever before. Even if she hadn't always been the perfect parent, she'd always been there. A few weeks later, I came home after doing some grocery shopping when I found Lola kissing Carson in my backyard. What the heck? The apple doesn't fall far from the tree, does it? You're just like your mom.
No, Paige. I was here to warn you about this jerk, but then he just grabbed me.
What?
She's lying.
Lola said she'd rejected Carson the same day Mom fainted at the picnic.
I thought it was weird that Carson asked you out right after asking me, but I didn't say anything. But then he kept texting me and told me he was with you just to make me realize my true feelings for him. But do you know what my true feelings are for you, Carson? You're a jerk, and I hate you.
What a liar. She jumped onto me and tried to kiss me. Trust me, Paige.
But then, Lola took out her phone and showed me all of the chats, and she was right. Carson, you jerk! I can't believe I trusted someone like you and never realized what kind of person you are. Get out of my house! I pushed Carson so hard he fell on his butt and then angrily left.
Paige, I'm sorry. I know what my mom did was wrong, but I had no idea about anything going on between them. Even I hate them both for what they did.
You don't have to be sorry about anything. Lola, I know it wasn't your fault, but I took my anger out on you.
Then please, let's get back to being friends again. I'm moving out of my mom's place for college next year anyway. What our parents did doesn't have to ruin what we have.
I'm Kaylee from LA. Please like and subscribe. Ever since I was a little girl, I've always loved to sing. My grandma was a professional singer. She sang around the world with the most prestigious orchestras and operas. I miss her and her voice so much. When I got to 10th grade, I became the singer of the family. I went to the most prestigious performing arts school on the West Coast. My favorite class was music, of course, and my favorite club so far was show choir. We had been the best in the state for 14 years, with the trophies to prove it. My best friend, Addison, is also in show choir with me. He and I met in kindergarten and have been inseparable ever since. He's the funniest guy I've ever known. He's also gotten pretty cute over the years too. Or at least that's what all the girls in school think. But I just don't see him that way. Hard to see someone that way when they used to sneak over from next door and put frogs in your bed. Yuck! One day, our show choir teacher, Ms. Conrad, had big news for us.
We've been asked to compete at this year's National Show Choir competition.
All right.
Yeah!
But to ensure we get top scores, the soloists will have to be chosen very carefully.
Ms. Conrad told us that we were going to have to audition for the big solo right in front of each other in 1 week. My nemesis, Heidi, started bragging in front of the whole group.
We all know who's gonna get it! Me, of course. Everyone knows I have the stage presence of a star.
I don't know. I think Kaylee might give you a run for your money. She's got star power and the voice to match.
The others' eyes widened. Were they about to fight? Just then, the bell rang. As everyone left the class, I swatted Addison on the arm. Don't start fights with Heidi. She's my biggest competition.
That's exactly why you have to stand up for yourself in front of her.
I just don't want anyone to think I think I'm better than her.
Well then, I guess that's why I'm here. To remind them for you.
Oh, what would I do without you?
Good thing we'll never have to find out.
I was so nervous, even though I'd sung in front of our choir before. But the pressure was on the whole week leading up to auditions. I practiced in the shower, in the bathroom, between classes. I really wanted to beat out Heidi for the big solo at the end of the show. Finally, audition day arrived. I woke up, put on my cutest outfit, curled my hair, and took extra time with my makeup. After all, if I'm gonna be a big star one day, I might as well start dressing like it now. When I stepped out of my house to walk to school with Addison, his cheeks turned super red. What's wrong?
Nothing, you just look different is all. Your hair is.
Oh no! Does it look bad? Maybe I should have worn it up. I'll just go chance.
No, leave it. You look good. Great.
When I arrived in class, Heidi was sitting in the front row, looking totally perfect. What was I thinking? With her shiny hair, big eyes, and as much as I hated to admit it, her beautiful voice. Why would anyone ever look twice at me? But I just tried to remember what my grandma would always say.
It's not about who sings the loudest or looks the prettiest. As long as your song comes from your heart, people can't help but listen.
So I took a deep breath and sat down next to Heidi, right in the front row. She gave me a once-over and rolled her eyes. Who cared what she thought? I knew I looked great. Ms. Conrad sat down at the piano and called Heidi up first. After she finished singing, I applauded politely along with everyone else. Then it was my turn. I stood confidently and turned to face everyone. Addison gave me a thumbs up from the back row. Such a good friend! Ms. Conrad played the opening notes for my song when suddenly the door to the classroom burst open behind me. I turned to look, and standing in the doorway was the most handsome boy I'd ever seen. Tall, with long brown hair that felt perfectly into his eyes. He looked just like a fairy tale prince. My jaw dropped. He handed a note to Ms. Conrad.
Class, this is our newest addition, Patrick.
He waved to everyone, then put his hand on my shoulder, looked deep into my eyes, and said,
I'm so sorry I interrupted your audition. Knock 'em dead.
Then he took my seat right in the front row. I gulped. Oh, now I was nervous again. I shook off my nerves, took a deep breath, and nodded to Ms. Conrad as she played. I could feel the music filling me up all the way to the top. I opened my mouth to sing and let my song come from my heart. When I finished, the whole class burst into applause. I felt like I was walking on air. Patrick got up to sing something last minute. He was so good. The next day, Ms. Conrad put up the list and I had gotten the solo. And she'd even added a duet in the middle of the show for Patrick to sing with me.
Looks like it's you and me, Kaylee. I'm so honored to be singing with someone as talented as you.
I felt my cheeks turn red, and he grinned.
You're so cute when you blush like that. Be careful, or I might just fall in love.
He walked away with a wink at me. I couldn't believe he'd just said that. And neither could Heidi, who'd been listening around the corner.
Don't get too comfy with that solo. Once Miss Conrad figures out that you'll cave at the first sign of pressure, I'll be ready to step in.
Eavesdrop much? Jealousy isn't your color, Heidi. The next day, we started rehearsing for nationals. Everyone was working so hard, and Patrick and I sounded great together. But when it came to our dance, it was like I'd suddenly grown a second left foot.
No, Kaylee, no. Once more from the top.
Miss Conrad, I'm happy to come up front and show Kaylee how it's done.
Not necessary, but thank you, Heidi.
Just here for the team.
After I knocked Patrick over by mistake for the third time, Ms. Conrad called it a day.
Kaylee, please go home and practice, practice.
Ugh! I could have wiped that smug look off of Heidi's face. Everyone went to start packing up their bags, and I started to head backstage to get my bag when Patrick came up to me.
Hey, gorgeous. Want to stay and practice a little with me? Then it'll be perfect by tomorrow.
Oh, I wouldn't want to impose. Your toes must be all bruised.
That's okay. I really don't mind. And I wouldn't mind spending a little quality time with my co-star.
Well, if you insist. Just then, Addison came up to us.
Hey, Kaylee, ready to go?
That's okay. I should really practice a little longer.
I can practice with you. I could use a few run-throughs myself.
Oh, well, Patrick already offered to stay behind and practice with me here.
He did he? How are you gonna get home?
I can drive her.
Oh, do you live in our neighborhood?
No, but
I mean, if it's not really convenient for you.
I'm not spending time with Kaylee because it's convenient.
Neither am I.
I'm spending time with her because she's cool.
My face turned bright red. Did he really mean that? Addison, I'm gonna stay here too. Just for a bit to practice. I'll see you later, okay?
Fine. If you insist, I'll see you when you get home.
He turned on his heel and walked out. Patrick turned to me with a grin on his face and held out his hand.
Shall we?
We practiced more, and I was finally getting good. Patrick swung me out for our final spin, then pulled me in close and dipped me. That's when I noticed his face was just so close. His ice blue eyes staring deep into mine. Was he gonna kiss me? Just then, all the lights in the theater went out. Patrick dropped me in shock and I shrieked. All of a sudden, the lights came back on, and Ms. Conrad stepped back on stage.
Oh, hey, kids. I am so sorry I didn't realize you were still here.
Ugh, I couldn't believe she'd interrupted our moment. Still, we waved goodbye to her and headed out. A little while later, when Patrick dropped me off, he got out of his car to open my door. Such a gentleman!
It was nice hanging out tonight. I'll see you tomorrow, superstar.
Then he wrapped his arms around me and gave me a big hug. Is this what heaven smelled like? Then I headed up the front walk to my door.
So, do you like him or something?
I whipped around and saw Addison waiting on our front porch swing. I don't know, maybe. He's so cute and really talented.
Okay, cool. I guess, do you still want to practice?
That's okay. I think I got it now.
Okay then. Well then, I guess I'll see you tomorrow. Here, I got you a milkshake.
Hey, thanks! He started crossing the yard towards his house. Is it?
Cookies and cream. Your favorite.
Thanks, I'll see you tomorrow.
You know it.
Then it was finally time for nationals. As we arrived at the concert hall, I was overwhelmed by all the other groups here and overheard one girl say to another,
"She was a little flat at the end."
I couldn't believe it! What if I lost us the whole competition? All night and throughout all our warm-ups the next day. It was all I could think about. If I messed up again, I'd be letting everyone down, including myself. And there were several famous music industry people judging the competition. What if I ended my career as a singer before it even started? And then, it was almost time to go up. I tried to calm down, but I was shaking like a leaf.
Miss Conrad, Kaylee doesn't look so good.
Miss Conrad came over. She looked pretty nervous herself.
Kaylee, you look terrible. Are you going to be able to perform?
Of course
Because if you're sick, I can always put Heidi on.
I'm ready to go, Miss Conrad!
Just then, I spotted Patrick warming up down the hall. I just need a minute. I raced down the hall towards him. He was stretching, shaking out his hands, jumping up and down. Patrick! His expression was so strange. Was he nervous too? I'm so nervous. Do you think we could practice?
Kaylee, I'm kind of busy.
What if we?
I really just need some space here. Kaylee.
Yesterday you said we were a team. That doesn't feel like a team to me.
I can't do this right now. Could you leave me alone?
Fighting back tears, I ran down the hall and found a corner backstage. I couldn't let anyone see me so upset, especially not Ms. Conrad or Heidi. What was I gonna do? Suddenly, Addison stepped out of the shadows. He looked so handsome in his costume.
Kaylee, are you okay?
I threw my arms around him. He caught me and squeezed tight. I'm so nervous. I overheard one of the other teams say I sounded bad. Ms. Conrad is ready to replace me with Heidi. Patrick isn't any help, and there's amazing industry people out there. And ugh!
You sounded amazing in rehearsal. Those other teams were just jealous. Forget about Patrick and Heidi. Remember why you love to sing? What was it your grandma always said?
Sing from your heart.
Exactly. Just do that.
I took a few deep breaths, and Addison was right. Will you just run the last part of the number with me?
Of course.
And there, in our little corner of the theater, we stepped, we twirled, we kicked in time together. Addison took my hand, spun me around, and dipped me low. I felt his arm slip. He was dropping me, but right before I was sure I'd hit the ground, he caught me with a twinkle in his eye. I swatted his arm. You tricked me.
I'd never drop you. And even if I did, I'll always be here to catch you.
Thank you, Addison. Then he smiled at me so genuinely, and my heart fell into my stomach. What was that?
Places, please. Students' places. Kaylee, are you ready?
Yes, Ms. Conrad. As we all rushed to take our spots to start our number, Addison shot me a wink.
Knock 'em dead, superstar.
You too. As soon as the lights came up on stage, I felt a little thrill of excitement. We danced, we sang, we twirled. Everyone had brought their A game. When it came time for my duet with Patrick, we totally nailed it. But any spark that had been there was gone. As the opening chords of my solo began, the lights shined down on me, and I opened my mouth, and the music poured from my heart. I knew my grandma was right there with me. I hit my final note and held it out forever as everyone finished their steps behind me. As we struck our final pose, the crowd erupted into applause. A standing ovation! I beamed. We totally nailed it. That night, after all the points had been tallied, all the teams gathered on stage behind the judges. Addison reached for my hand and I squeezed back. Thanks for the pep talk. I could have never done it without you.
Of course you could have. I'm just here to remind you.
You're always there for me. He leaned in close, and I felt a flutter in my stomach as he whispered in my ear.
And I always will be, if you let me.
I turned to look directly in his eyes.
Kaylee, I have to tell you.
Just then, the announcer started announcing the winners. Second place, runner-up. Our whole team clasped hands and took a deep breath together.
And the grand prize for this year's National Show Choir competition goes to...
As they said our name, the crowd roared. It was so loud I could hardly think. Confetti rained down on us as Ms. Conrad stepped forward to accept our trophy. I threw my arms around Addison, and he picked me up, swinging me in a circle. We did it! We did it! As we packed up our things in the dressing room and said goodbye to the new friends we'd made at the competition, one of the judges knocked on our dressing room door. He was an exec for a record label back in LA.
I was so impressed with you. Your vocals were so clear and you've got some real presence up there. Give me a call if you think you'd be interested in recording a single.
He handed me his card, and I shook his hand, totally awestruck. Maybe dreams really do come true. I felt so relieved. Not only had I not let everyone down, but I'd made myself proud. On the beach, Addison sat down next to me, running a hand through his hair. When he saw me watching, he grinned, and the butterflies were back.
I'm totally beat, aren't you?
Definitely. I got you something.
Oh yeah?
I pulled out a bag of gummy worms and your favorite.
You're the best, Kay.
He ripped open the bag and dug in. Hey, Addison, what was it you were gonna tell me earlier?
I don't know. I don't remember.
Well, I have something I want to tell you.
Yeah?
I like you.
Really?
Really?
I like you too. I have for a while now.
Really?
Really?
He took my hand and I know, my cheeks turned pink.
I got something for you too.
Ooh, okay. I love presents. And then he put his hand on my cheek, leaned in close, and kissed me. It was the perfect— I'm Crystal from a small town in Alaska. Press like and subscribe. Ever since I was born, I've lived with my rich uncle and aunt and 5 girl cousins, but they've always made me feel like I didn't belong with them. For starters, all my cousins had blonde hair and blue eyes, and I had dark curly hair and brown eyes. They always said I wasn't pretty enough to be part of the family.
Mirror. Mirror on the wall. Who's the ugliest of them all?
Crystal, your eyes are the color of poop, and look at your hair. I wonder how many birds sleep inside that nest.
They were the meanest, but I had no one else. You see, my aunt and uncle wouldn't even send me to school and just kept me on my toes all day doing house chores. But I'd secretly taught myself to read. I began reading more and more, and all that knowledge just amazed me. One time when I was 16, my uncle found me reading my cousin's books, and he instantly snatched them from me.
Do you have any idea how expensive these are, and you're using them for free?
Why are you always so awful to me?
Because you're kind of weird and not really one of us.
I pushed him aside and ran out of the room. I just hated it here. A few weeks later, it was Christmas, and I found 5 huge gift boxes under the tree, and another one the size of a matchbox of course, that was mine, and all it had inside was a pinch of salt.
Just a reminder to add the right amount of salt while cooking our meal.
Everyone laughed, and I felt like smashing their heads into the wall. While I was busy cooking, a lawyer visited our house. Curious, I followed him to the study, and when I heard his conversation with my aunt and uncle, I was shook.
That girl Crystal is worth billions. If you want to keep the money her parents left, you should legally adopt her.
Wait, what? I was a freaking billionaire. As soon as the lawyer left, my aunt came running into the kitchen and literally carried me away to the lounge. I was made to sit in Uncle's armchair while he snatched all my cousin's presents and gave them to me.
You girl, give Crystal a foot rub. You, the other one, make her a hot chocolate with extra marshmallows. And the rest, we're changing the dinner menu to all of Crystal's favorites, and you're cooking now. Chop, chop.
Wow, just wow. All of a sudden, I was loved and pampered to bit. I decided now was the time to get the one thing I really wanted.
Oh, sweetheart, no. School is such a dangerous place for girls.
But all my cousins are girls.
They are morons. They're not as precious as you, Pumpkin. We'll get you the best tutor.
Well, that was better than nothing. At least I'd get to learn. But the next night, while I was getting water from the kitchen, I overheard them talking.
How long do we need to pamper that ugly duck?
Don't worry, once we get her money, we'll ship her off to some orphanage.
Who even wants that hairy kid?
God, I knew they were being nice to me because of my money, but these greedy jerks weren't even planning to let me stay. That very night, I packed my bags and ran away, taking the first train out of our town. On the train, an old lady sat next to me, and she told me I was really pretty. She sounded kind, and when we got down, she asked me to join her for a meal at her place. This was the first time someone was treating me nicely without knowing about my wealth. When I got to her mansion, it seemed like she was some billionaire herself. I met some girls older than me, and they all looked really happy. Apparently, the kind woman had given jobs to all of them and even let them stay here. I wondered if I could stay too, and to my surprise, she gladly accepted me. Weeks passed by, and all was good, until one day, the lady woke me up rudely at 3 a.m.
Dress up and get ready.
What? Why? It's not even sunrise yet.
What are you? A chicken waiting for sunrise. Be out already, or I'm going to kick your lazy butt.
OMG! Suddenly, the fairy godmother sounded more like a Hammond. She pulled me down to the main hall where the other girls had already gathered, and then she started explaining how we'd be breaking into some house to steal stuff soon. Wait a second, she was a professional thief? Oh my God! I couldn't believe I've been living with a gang of robbers for weeks! I wasn't going to be a part of this. I slipped away and used the old lady's phone to report her to the police. When they turned up to arrest her and the gang, one of the girls turned to me and said,
I always knew you didn't belong with a bunch of thieves. Here, take this and go see this man. He's a very kind fellow who wants to adopt a daughter.
And so I escaped and made my way to Mr. Hammond's address, and, well, this guy seemed richer, an old Hammond. When a butler led me to him, I explained that I had no family, and some girl gave me his details, and he was overjoyed.
Oh my God, yes. I've been waiting to adopt a little girl. I'm so happy to meet you. And Crystal, that's such a beautiful name. Welcome to your new home.
And just like that, my life turned around. I was immediately led to a gorgeous room and given a brand new wardrobe. And when I saw the massive library in the house, I flipped. Oh, sir, you don't know how much I love books. All I've ever wanted is to go to school and learn as much as I can.
Well, my dear, that can be easily arranged.
He made a quick phone call and told me I'd be starting school next week. Was this for real? Even though he seemed lovely, I didn't trust him enough yet to tell him about my parents' money. I knew what that did to people. One morning while I was still asleep, someone scared the heck out of me by jumping onto the bed. And then I saw a girl a few years older than me. She was screaming.
OMG, who are you and what are you doing in my bed?
Dad. Dad? Mr. Hammond came running, and it turned out that the girl was his daughter Pearl, who was now in university.
I just came home to get some stuff. So what? I left and you adopted some ugly weirdo and gave her my room?
Don't be rude. And yes, I'm all alone now, and I'd like some company. Now say hello to your sister.
Sister? I don't know which slum you got her from. Just get her out of my room.
She stormed off, and Mr. Hammond apologized to me. It's okay. I know I'm ugly. My cousins made fun of my hair and eyes all the time. It's nothing new.
What are you talking about? Your hair and eyes are lovely. I only see a girl who's beautiful inside and out. But let me take you to a salon today. Those people will work magic with your hair.
And they really did. They trimmed and styled my wild hair and got my eyebrows done. And for the first time ever, I actually felt pretty. I was so happy I hugged Mr. Hammond. Thanks, Dad. Wait, did I just call him Dad? Maybe I was starting to like him a bit too fast. I had an amazing first day at school. Everyone was telling me I was gorgeous. A few boys even said my warm brown eyes were adorable. All that was great, except when I got home I found Pearl had moved back in. I'd try to be friends with her, but she was impossible. I tried talking to her at dinner, but she just gave me silent glares. When I asked her to pass me the water, she flung the whole jug at my face.
Pearl.
What, Dad? She didn't want it on her face. Oops, my bad.
One day, during the first class, our teacher kept getting annoyed because of some croaking frog sounds. We all looked around and couldn't find any. Just then, a boy put his ear next to my bag and said,
I think it's coming from here.
I opened the bag and dropped it. Immediately, a dozen big frogs jumped out, and there was almost a stampede with everyone screaming and running out. As the teacher fled, she tripped over a chair and fell down really hard. She hurt her arm, and I got a month's attention for my prank. This was all Pearl's doing. I went to her room that day and asked her why she was bent on ruining things for me.
I'll drop this innocent face, Crystal. I know you're just some gold digger and my dad is your target. Just because he's too soft and foolish to see the bad in people doesn't mean I am too. I'll make sure you don't get a penny of my wealth.
She was crazy. All I wanted was a family. Mr. Hammond had a grand pool party planned, and I was so excited my jaw dropped when I saw the guests arrive. Actors, singers, and other glamorous people. I was dazzled. Everyone was having a great time, but as some of the guests started to leave, we suddenly heard a woman screaming at the butler.
What do you mean you can't find my diamond ring and my husband's watch? I gave that stuff to you for safekeeping, before going in the pool.
The butler said he'd put all the guests' belongings in Mr. Hammond's study, but they were all gone. Everyone went crazy, and there was nearly a riot.
Ladies, gentlemen, something like this has never happened before, and I assure you I won't rest till everyone's belongings are returned. You have my word.
As the angry guests went out mumbling and threatening Mr. Hammond, he ordered the servants to strip the house down. Only 10 minutes later, a maid came running with my backpack. She turned it over, and all the rich people's things fell out.
Sir, Miss Crystal's bags were packed. It looks like she was planning to leave.
I was horrified. Side Mr. Hammond looked shocked as I protested that I had nothing to do with it.
Oh, Daddy, what did you expect from someone like her? I always knew she'd do something like this. We need to call the police.
I walked up to Mr. Hammond and looked him straight in the eye. I know I'm just a stranger and not really your daughter, so you'll choose to believe Pearl's words over mine. You can do whatever you want, but just know that your kindness means far more to me than money or things ever could, and I would never do anything to harm you. Suddenly, Mr. Hammond took my hand.
You are my daughter, and I do believe you.
He turned to Pearl with a furious face.
Pearl, if you don't want me to stop paying for your credit cards and cut you out of my will, leave now. I don't want to see your face till you've graduated university.
Pearl stared at him and shot, then screamed angrily and left. I was so touched by Mr. Hammond's words.
Hi, I'm Mary from Texas. Please like and subscribe. I was raised in an orphanage until I was 8 years old and I never spoke a word.
Here, sweetie. What's your name? Say something to the nice people, Mary. They want to get to know you.
It wasn't that I couldn't speak. I was just shy. I didn't have many friends. One day when I was 8, I saw my best friend Furry stuck in a tree. I ran over to the firehouse across the road and banged on the door.
What's wrong?
Fireman? To the tree, and he immediately rescued my dog. He was amazing. The next day I decided to thank him by making him a special meal.
Thank you. Do you like spaghetti?
After that, the fireman came to visit me every week, and I felt so comfortable that I started to speak.
In fact, I couldn't stop talking.
And I hated it when we had to say goodbye. One day, the fireman came to visit with the biggest smile.
Mary, how would you feel if I was your dad?
And the next morning, I moved in with him. I had my own room, my own fireman's hat, and as much spaghetti as I wanted. We did everything together, and life was good. But in the 7th grade, Dad brought home some guests. A beautiful woman and her daughter who was my age.
This is Patricia and her daughter Jennifer. Patricia and I are getting married.
I was happy at the news.
It's a pleasure to meet you.
Of course it is. I'm lovely, but it's not a pleasure to meet you. It's worse than that day. I ate a whole jar of chilies and pooped fire out of my butt. And also I had to get a tooth extraction and my appendix removed on the same day, and I hate you already.
Soon Patricia and Dad were married, and we moved into a bigger house. It was beautiful on the outside, but the inside needed work.
It's a disaster. We're not living here.
Come on, babe, it just needs a little love.
Over the next few months, Dad and I fixed up the house. By the time we were done, it was perfect. But nothing made those two houses.
What do you think?
Like we were too poor to get a professional interior decorator. We're going to the cat massage place.
Yeah, the cats there give the best head massages. It feels so good when they pull on your hair.
Really? Because I can do that for free.
Mary glared at me, and the two left.
Dad, I don't get it. Patricia is so materialistic and shallow, and Jennifer is even worse. You can do so much better.
Honey, no one's perfect Patricia and Jennifer, just like nice things. What's really important is family. Promise me you give them a chance.
I'll try.
So I did. Things were better for a few months, but then I started to notice Patricia and Jennifer acting strange. One night, I caught Patricia and Jennifer whispering to each other in the dark till they spotted me.
Go to bed now or you're grounded for a month.
And you won't be allowed to take a shower or wax your mustache for 3 months.
The next day, Patricia said she wanted to cook dinner for a change, and hours later, Dad had food poisoning. He was released from the hospital the next day, but he was still really weak. Instead of taking care of him, Patricia and Jennifer went out on a shopping spree.
I think Patricia tried to poison you.
Poison me? That's ridiculous.
I don't think so. Those two are hiding something. I just know it.
Patricia has been trying to connect with you for months, but you're always giving her a hard time. You have to accept them as family and stop making up these crazy stories.
A few weeks later, while Dad was out of town, I woke up at night to get some water, but I heard voices coming from the backyard. I looked out the window and saw Patricia and the strange man arguing. Before I could get closer, Jennifer jumped in the way.
You should mind your own business.
Who is that man?
What man?
The man you were talking to in the backyard.
Oh, Mary, you have such an active imagination. I wasn't talking to anyone. Isn't that right, Jennifer?
Yes, Mummy. Too active of an imagination compared to her small-shaped head. Why is it so small? Did you crack it open like an egg? And the doctors forgot to put some pieces back in, back in the orphanage, since you were neglected.
I went to my room and tried to call Dad, but my calls went straight to voicemail. In fact, he didn't answer his call for days, and it looked like he was missing. We contacted the police to find out where he could have gone, but he vanished without a trace. I felt miserable, but Patricia and Jennifer seemed to go on like it didn't matter one bit. Sometimes I couldn't help thinking if they had something to do with Dad's disappearance. 2 months passed, and one day, Dad's lawyer showed up to talk to me.
Your dad told me that in the case of something ever happening to him, I can tell you about his will.
What will?
Your husband left $1 million in a trust for Mary. Half to be released to Mary when she turns 18, and the other half to her legal guardian to take care of her.
What about me and my daughter? Jennifer?
Yeah. What do we get? I mean, that man had the longest ear hair, and my eyes hurt seeing that. So, yeah, I deserve something.
The last time your husband updated his will was when he adopted Mary. Here's a check for $500,000 to cover Mary's expenses.
Patricia and Jennifer went ballistic. They ripped all of my dad's pictures off the wall.
Stop! Don't!
Jennifer shoved me out of the way as she and Patricia ran around the house, destroying everything that reminded them of Dad. I grabbed my dad's guitar from his bedroom and hid it under my bed. The next day, Jennifer cashed the check. She sold the house, and we moved to another city. Jennifer made the down payment for a fancy house and car and got new clothes for herself and Jennifer, but the two made me live in the dusty old attic. A few weeks later, Jennifer and I started high school. The moment I stepped on campus, all the kids laughed at me. Jennifer had sold all my clothes and gave me only $20 to replace my wardrobe at the secondhand store.
Hey, freak.
Who are you calling a freak, dummy?
Where'd you get your clothes? A dumpster.
My mom took her off the street. It took my mom 3 months to get rid of the lice in her head. Our house kept smelling like gas. Because gas is the most effective way to get rid of lice. And it took 3 months. You get what I mean? Ha 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 ha.
After a few weeks, I learned to ignore them and focus on my schoolwork. School helped me get my mind off of how much I missed Dad. Then one day, a new boy arrived at school. He was gorgeous, and all the girls, including Jennifer, couldn't stop staring at him. He sat next to me in science class. He turned to me.
Hey, I'm Kyle. You want to be my partner?
Are you any good at science? I'm gonna need more than a pretty face.
You're funny.
Kyle and I started meeting in the library after school. He was a science nerd just like me. He loved music and was super funny. We turned in our project and got an A. After class, he walked me to my locker.
Mary, I really like hanging out with you. I was wondering if you wanted to.
Before he could finish, Jennifer appeared out of nowhere.
Hi, Kyle. How's it going? I was thinking the two of us could go to the movies this weekend.
Actually, I was gonna ask Mary.
It's so sweet you've been spending time with Mary. Did she tell you about her boyfriend? Hez blind. And Mary is really taking care of him. I mean, 2 needy people in a relationship, it makes perfect sense. Don't you agree? Boyfriend? What are you? It's pretty serious. They've been hot and heavy for 5 dark years, you know? 'Cause he's blind.
That night, Jennifer barged into my room.
Don't even think about messing things up with me and MHK.
MHK?
My hot Kyle. Why are you so stupid?
You and Kyle? You're not even his type. You're a liar.
And say one word to him and I'll destroy your dad's stupid guitar.
From then on, I strapped the guitar to my back and carried it with me everywhere, even in the bathroom.
You're a weirdo.
A couple nights later, I watched from the window as Kyle picked Jennifer up for their date. He glanced up at me, and I quickly closed the blinds. Kyle still sat next to me in science class. He tried to joke with me, but I ignored him.
Hey, Mary, you want to study later?
That's not a good idea.
Why not?
Please just leave me alone.
I closed my locker and walked away. Kyle didn't sit next to me or try to talk to me anymore. He and Jennifer seemed to be getting really close, so it was better that I stayed away. A few weeks later, I was walking to class when I heard a huge commotion in the hallway.
It's our 2-month anniversary and you get me this?
What's wrong? Please calm down. Everybody is staring at us.
I told you I wanted a diamond necklace.
I thought you were joking. I can't afford a diamond necklace.
Wait, are you suggesting you're poor? Why did you look rich to me? You shallow people pretending to be someone you're not? I'm dumping your poor butt.
A few weeks later, Jennifer found a new rich boyfriend named Matthew, and she was smitten. She even invited him over for dinner one night. One day, I stayed late after school to study in the library. As I was walking down the hall, I heard someone playing guitar. It was the song my dad used to play when I was a kid. I darted toward the sound. From the window, I saw a man. He was tall with short hair like Dad, but I couldn't see his face.
You almost scared me to death.
Sorry, I thought you were someone else. I didn't know you played guitar, you.
No, if you ever talk to me.
I'm sorry. I shouldn't have blown you off.
I understand. Jennifer never liked the fact that I was friends with you first. So, are you any good? Or do you just carry that thing around as a fashion statement?
I pulled the guitar off my back and started to play. Kyle and I played together, and it was magical. A few days later, we entered a local talent show. We won first prize and took home $1,000. Soon, Kyle and I started playing a weekly gig at a popular venue in town. We became popular in school, and we were making good money. I stashed it all away under a loose floorboard in my room. One day during lunch, Kyle and I were in the cafeteria when Jennifer came up to us.
Hey, Rockstar. How about we hang out this weekend?
No, thanks. Mary and I are busy with practice.
Oh my, Kyle, you're so ignorant. Mary would die to please me. She won't mind. Actually, I do.
We have to work on a new song also. Why would he want to hang out with you?
Fine, whatever.
Later that night, Jennifer barged into my room.
You stole my boyfriend.
What boyfriend?
Kyle.
Why are you acting like you have memory loss? You broke up with Kyle and we aren't dating.
You won't get away with this. You took something from me, and now I will too.
Then Jennifer grabbed my father's guitar and smashed it to pieces.
Now we're even!
I charged towards Jennifer and we got into the biggest fight ever. What's going on here?
She attacked me, Mom. She's crazy. I'm scared. Mommy, hug me.
She broke my guitar.
She stole my boyfriend, and now she's trying to kill me. Let's get a restraining order against her. Mommy!
Mary, you've always been jealous of Jennifer, and now you've gone too far. No more cell phones. No more music. No more anything.
I couldn't stay in that house another minute, so I climbed out the window and ran away. And I ended up on Kyle's doorstep. He and his mom were really sympathetic and gave me a room to stay in. But the next morning when I went home to get my things, the doors were locked and all the furniture was gone. There was no sign of Jennifer and Patricia anywhere. Kyle and I went to talk to the lawyer about my trust fund, but the lawyer's office was boarded up. I asked one of his neighbors where I could find him.
He closed his law firm yesterday and moved away. He didn't leave a forwarding address.
I was devastated. I had no money and nowhere to go.
You can stay with me for as long as you need.
I reported Jennifer and Patricia to the police, and a few weeks later they got back to me.
This woman who calls herself Patricia, she's a con artist. She's gone from state to state cunning single men out of their fortunes. You and your father were her latest victims. And this girl, Jennifer, is her niece.
What about the money she stole? Can I get it back?
I'm sorry, but there's nothing we can do.
I went back to Kyle's house, but I was too depressed to get out of bed. Then one day, I opened my door and found a new guitar resting outside the door. Then Kyle and I wrote a song. We posted it online and it went viral. 5 years later, we were world famous. We spent all our time together writing songs, performing on tour, and falling in love. The next summer, we were married and moved to a house on the beach. But a few months later, Jennifer showed up on our doorstep in tears.
What are you doing here?
Patricia and her boyfriend skipped town after conning someone and left me behind. They even took my savings. Patricia's my aunt, who raised me since I was a kid, and I had no choice but to help her steal money from people. I'm so sorry for what I did to you and your father.
I wanted to turn Jennifer away, but she had nowhere to go. Jennifer worked with the police to track down Patricia and her boyfriend, and they were eventually successful. Patricia landed behind bars for years. Some months later, on my birthday, Kyle and Jennifer came home with the biggest smiles.
We have a surprise for you.
Jennifer and I discovered a lead on your father a while ago. It was a long shot, so we didn't tell you before, but we found something.
What did you find?
Kyle opened the door.
Dad?
Yes, honey, it's me. I've missed you so much.
Oh God, me too. Where were you all this time?
I was on a road trip and I was in an accident. I woke up with no memory. Only this. I drew this picture every night, but I never knew who I was drawing or if she was even real. I tried to start a new life, but I knew there was something missing. I had a hole in my heart. But then Kyle and Jennifer found me. They showed me videos of you performing our song, and then all my memories came flooding back. I'm sorry I wasn't there for you all these years.